Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is map number 2 of this best of 3. And we're going straight on into one of the new maps for Season 2. And that makes me a very happy caster because the new maps are always super cool. And we get to see some fun things. But let's introduce these two players first. Spawning in the top left-hand position as the blue Zerg player. He's 1-0 up in this best of 3, one game away from advancing into the semi-finals. It's Lambo. And to the lower right, his opponent, the red Zerg player. Needs to win this to stay in the series and to stay in this event. It's memOryfreak. Waystation, of course, is a map that many of you probably haven't seen. The new ladder maps have only been available for a little while now, have only been confirmed very recently. So let's take a quick peek. For a start, you'll notice that your natural is wide, really wide. So we're not going to be seeing any double Evo, Roach War and block offs of this anytime soon. You then come down, zoom out here, and you've got another hugely wide area with multiple routes through. So taking a third, you've got two choices. You've got this quite cool little third down here, which is very exposed by air. Potentially Mutalisk could play it a lot there. Or you've got down to the left another option to take a third base, which unfortunately is on the low ground, but arguably a bit easier to defend. Just got to be a bit wary of this little run through here, which could allow you to get surrounded from multiple angles. So enough about the map, a bit more about what these two are doing. We had a pull first build coming down from memory, opting to play a bit safer. Whereas Lambo, he went hatch first, into pull, into gas. And as a result, he's going to have a fractionally better economy, and he's just playing the same way he did in map 1. It worked well for him, so why switch it up? A couple of other things to note about this map, which I didn't actually touch on, is that if I'm not mistaken, if you hold both of these watchtowers at either side, it's virtually impossible to get a unit across the map without your opponent scouting that it's coming. And there's also island expansions. I didn't even notice these. Since when did these exist still? This is going to lead to some fun times for Terran players. Anyway, enough about that. I'm just keeping a good look around on these maps. All the cool things that can happen. Is Waystation, if I remember correctly, Waystation does actually have the really cool thing where you can spawn in either of the cross spawn positions, so you can actually spawn there and there. I think. I could be wrong, I need to double check that. Anyway, Lings, just running around, getting a scout down here. Lambo will know that this was a pull first build, just by the timing of the Zerglings coming over. memOry going to lose an Overlord here, which does supply block him for a good 20 odd seconds. Which could be a bit of a problem. Because a small bump like that can be incredibly awkward. Both players are opting for their Baneling nests. Safe thing to do. Different strategy to what we saw in game number 1 with a very quick rush up to Roaches. Lambo has been seen to already have the 3 gases, or the 3 drones still in gas. Meanwhile, memOry had a very similar gas count to Lambo for the moment. Lambo is going to have to contend with a lot of Zerglings though coming through here for memOry. He's just got 18 produced, with more on the way. Lambo, on the other hand, teching up into lair, and if he doesn't scout how many Lings are coming through here, as memOry's trying to hide for the moment, he could be in some serious trouble. Lambo's going to have a good time to see this though, as his Overlord picks up on the Lings coming now, but Lambo's just made 10 drones. He cannot go for the Evolution Chamber wall off. He immediately cancels one of those gases, adds in a couple of Banelings. Now the Banelings are also going to be there for memOry if he morphs some. This could be very tough to hold. Emergency spines coming down everywhere. Double Queen wall off also on its way through. The Banelings waiting, buying their time. They've got to get some great connections. Lambo, if he defends this, is in an amazing position. That first Baneling hit, not sensational. 2 more morphing through. Drones even getting into this fight. The second Baneling gets knocked out. And now in comes the Bane train of memory. Lambo retreats from his natural base. A couple of lava getting taken out there. The spine doing as much as it can. Banelings defensively now for Lambo moving forward. If he gets a good detonation like those, it can be amazing. Memory taking substantial losses. Lambo's still up by 10 workers because he evacuated into his main base behind the safety of those double queens. And now Memory has got a very hard job to do. Because previously, he had Lambo in an element of surprise. Lambo can still see these lings coming across. He knows that his opponent has not had the opportunity to drone. He knows where his opponent is. He knows that he's got more defensive banelings. It's going to be a lot more tough. Lambo saving his banelings for the moment, backing away the rest. Spines moving forward, queens moving forward. It's all going to come down to the baneling hits, as it so often does in these tense, early aggressive ZvZ plays. The spines and queens making fantastic work of the banelings of Memory. And Memory is in a very tough spot now. He just doesn't have the drones to keep trading like this. The banelings and the spines and the queens give Lambo an ample amount of defensive capability. A couple of drones now coming through for Memory, but he's been so far behind for so long. I don't know if he's going to be able to level this out. Lambo will know that there's not more units coming through because of these overlords, and so should start back to his own droning once he's dealt with these lings. Roach Roaring coming down for Memory. Lambo's still just having to contend with the odd poke and prod in, but he should be confident now that there's no more lings coming if they're not banked up. He's actually got quite a few lava sitting around at a glance. Oh, he's only got 3, so not that many yet. But the next wave of lava are about to pop. And when they do, that's when Lambo really has to start spending them. Third base attempt coming down here now from Memory. Lambo droning though, feeling confident that he's now secure and safe. Loses quite a few lings there actually. Does keep one baneling up on the ramp, which is always a smart move. Always keep 1 or 2 banelings back at home to make sure that you don't flat out die. Is a smart play. Lambo taking his third. Drone count currently 46 to 37 in Lambo's favour. Lambo also now taking his Spire, so going to be going for some Mutalisks. Yet to discover the third base location of his opponent. But I think we'll find a lot of players actually expand over to the right here. Quick scout coming down from Lambo, trying to confirm exactly what his opponent's doing. Both players deciding to get significantly more lings out. Good baneling hit down there for Memory, but a lot of defensive banelings in position here for Lambo. His queen is very low, but can back away to safety if needed. More lings seen as they run across the map. These overlords, invaluable for Lambo this game in terms of the defense, in terms of making sure that not too much else can go down. A couple more banelings morphing in now for Memory. He needs to try and shut this out because his droning is just non-existent. He's up at 52 drones and he's going to start transferring them across, but Lambo going for those muters, there just isn't a response to that. The lair is done for Memory, but he doesn't have a Hydralisk den down. Doesn't have any spores, and I don't believe he's actually scouted the Spire. No, he hasn't. Lambo getting a bit more aggressive now. Hugs up on a baneling, which is always a dangerous move to make. Both players' thirds going to start getting some income for them, but Lambo committing heavily to these Mutalisks. Going to be going up to 10 Muters. Substantial number. Memory going to scout them with a baneling. This should give him time to start getting down some spores, making sure that he does have a longer term plan. Massive baneling hits there as those lings on attack move as opposed to move command walk straight into them. Memory now knows that with a lot of spores coming down, he's going to be able to defend against these Mutalisks for a bit. And it should also give him the advantage on the ground. But Lambo going to be looking to keep his opponent pinned back defensively as opposed to getting any effective damage done. And also this third base still so vulnerable because of how much dead space there is about. Gonna need to see Lambo put up a good defense here because Memory pushing across the map. He knows these roaches are just free for the picking. from the Mutalisks, which is precisely what we're seeing here. They're getting softened up nicely. Memory takes a couple of big hits to those Banelings. Nice bait out there by Lambo. His own roaches engaging a spine crawler in the back. The Mutalisks behind. They're going to pick off these roaches as they retreat too. Kind of a no-win situation there for Memory. Lambo adding in a lot more roaches to 1-1 upgrades, whereas +1 missile attack is already completed for Memory, who's starting on his +2 missile attack. Pathogen Glands also coming down. Roach Infester, a viable option up against these mutas if your fungal growths are good. Lambo dancing his Overlord there as the Mutalisks go by. I think he's feeling a bit confident at the moment. No sign of any spores of the natural. This was quite an oversight actually, not pushing any here. This is just allowing these drones to be completely free picking. The Queen, oh, there is a spore. It's right at the front though, so when it unbows, the Queen can actually make short work of it. The Mutas, as long as they get out without dying, will regenerate up health, obviously 1 HP per second. Lambo now pushing in, going up against these, and GG's cool. Lambo advances through to the semi-final 2-0.